Ah, let's rest those weary legs. Well, I'm in a new woodland today. There is a stream here like the previous woodland, so I am lucky. But this time I'm not going to be camping near the stream. I'm just going to be about 150 yards away. So this is the first camp of 2020, and it's great to see you, and I hope you've had an excellent Christmas and all's been good for you. So anyway, myself and my partner, we came here what was it, a couple of weeks ago, and we did a bit of a recce round and found a nice little spot. To be honest, on the way in here I came a different way, a different route, and I've spotted several places that are ideal for future camps. There's tons of bike tracks, but luckily these little getaway places are well away from any of those. Anyway, now I've rested my legs for a couple of minutes. We'll make a move and get onto this new location in these new woods. It's great to see you, and thanks for joining me. Let's get on. New tent that I want to try out. It's called the Backwoods Bungalow, and this is the version 2, and it's by a company called ONETIGRIS. I know there was lots of problems with version 1. Obviously that was just like a prototype, and I believe there's been plenty of updates for the version 2. So I'm looking forward to having a camp out in that tonight and see how we get on. It's all relatively flat, so I'm not going to struggle to find somewhere to put the tent, which is very nice indeed. No deadfall, no dead standing trees. It's all pretty clear actually, so it's an ideal spot. Very nice. So let's get on and put this Backwoods Bungalow up. And just when you think you're alone, I've seen there's a cyclist just there. He's off his bike, pushing his bike there. Yeah, I didn't see that. Mind you, it's a good way off, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. I'm out the way enough. Typical, isn't it? But it's such a beautiful spot. I got my heart set on here, so I'm not going to move. Yeah, it's only like a bit of a dirt track up there. There's very few bikes go through, you can tell. So yeah, I'll be fine. We're okay here. So we're deep into the woods as well. So yeah, and plus it's a weekday, so it's less active, you know, than what it would be on a weekend. Right, let's crack on and get this Baker style tent up. There we have it. ONETIGRIS Backwoods Bungalow version 2.0. First initial thoughts, I like the bag. I do like the grab handle on the bottom here, so when you open it up you can pull the tent out and you can hold the bottom here. A lot of the time you're like, you know, you're faffing around holding on and struggling. That makes it nice and easy. So basically just undo it here, you get the tent like that, grab on that, and great idea, nice and easy. Simple things like that make all the difference. Good idea. I always leave my prusik knots that I'm going to use to make the tent taut either side, that replaces the poles that are usually needed for this particular tent. Yeah, I use a ridge line and prusik, so prusiks always stay on my ridge line. That's how I like it, so I just shove them along. Nice thick material, very nice, nice colour. It's the coyote brown, I believe. So let's find the front. Where's the front and where's the back? That looks like the vent because it's the back, I believe. Bought my own pegs, lightweight pegs, and my own guy lines, just my own preference really. But there's nothing wrong with the ones that were supplied by ONETIGRIS. So yeah, I'm going to proceed and set this up. Going up nice and easy so far, so it's looking good. Very impressed so far. Okay, so I've got myself 2 branches which I've sharpened to a point, and the reason being is to hold the front canopy open on this particular tent. What I've got is got a brass grommet here, and it's punched in between the middle of the fabric loop there, so you've also got an option to put something in there, and of course I've got my carabiner in there, so that's ideal to put my branch in. And I'll do that one, I'll tie that down, and I'll also do the other side of course. But the reason being I'm going to have it on a really steep angle is that rain's been forecast, and you know me and my camps, 9 times out of 10 I get rain, so when I'm asleep tonight I don't have to worry about me going in a swimming pool or whatever in the middle of this canopy at the front here. So a nice steep angle so the rain can flow down the back. Right, let's get on and put these in. What a beauty that is. Loving it. Really nice tent. If you like your baker tents, then this is a winner. I mean, I know I haven't done an overnighter in it and it's not raining, but just on design and what I've seen of it, I had a good look round at the stitching and the build quality of it. It's spot on. I can't fault it. It is really nice. So I saw the video, I think it was Matt Tightwad that did he did a really good video on the first version of the Backwoods Bungalow, and there were quite a few issues with that, but wow, they've done a fine job on this tent. By the way, I've bought this out of my own money. This isn't from ONETIGRIS, you know, this hasn't been sent for me to review or anything like that. This is like, I bought this purely out of my own money because I love baker tents so much anyway, and I'm always putting my finding ways to fold my tarps in similar configurations to copy like the baker tent style. But wow, I think this is a winner. It's real beauty, and I think personally the coyote brown does a fine job of blending in with these woodlands. Makes a change because I usually buy things, and you know, usually things are in OD green a lot of the time, or DPM or whatever, you know, Flectarn. But no, I think it does a fine job, and I'll show you around and see what you think. Looking along the ridge line of the tent, I love the stitching, the reinforcements. It's absolutely spot on. I mean, look at that for quality stitching. Really nice. I've been all over it, all over the tent to check everywhere, and everywhere is absolutely spot on. You look at the back of the tent, you've got these 2 tie-out points, 1 and 2, to take the bagginess out, because you've usually got like your classic A-frame set up, and the material will sag inwards, you know what I mean, so it makes the most of the space that you can have inside. So like that optimizes it. I think that's a fine idea with those 2 tie-out points there. Another great idea is you got this fabric panel here, and that's for ventilation. Obviously the panel's there so rainwater or snow or whatever can't get in there, but I'll show you from the inside in a bit. Under there you've got like bug netting and whatever, so you can't get your creepy crawlies in there, and you can have this flap fully open if you wanted it. It's quite mild today, so I don't really need it open. let's go round. So there's 4 corners to peg down. You see my ground sheet there on the ground sheet. See, you've only got 4 corners, nice and easy to peg down. Everything's reinforced. These lines were already attached to the tent itself. So you've got one for the footprint of the tent, the main part of the tent itself, and then you've got these for like the flap that I was just on about. So they're all included. That comes down, and yeah, they've put lines in for you, so you don't need to worry about anything. Let's have a look. Another great idea, I love this, where you got these panels here. So like, there's the main inner of the tent in that shape, in an A-frame. When you close like that, close the flap down, so there's the main inner, which is going to be that shape, and you've got these additional side panels here, so to stop any wind blowing through from the side. I think that's another excellent idea. Again, everything's spot on. What's that? That's just a little loose thread. Everything's sewn in really well. Everything's reinforced. At the front here, you've got these adjusters that they've put on, tightened down. Normally where I use my taut line hitches, I haven't had to bother, which is nice for a change. And of course, like the main opening that you've got there, that folds down, velcros down to the sides, and it also zips as well. The zips that you've got are YKK zippers, which are really high quality, robust, hard wearing zippers. So they're not going to pop on you. So like I say, that zips down, and also the inner mesh zips down as well. So we come to the inside of the tent itself. You've got like elasticated straps here with a toggle, so that you can tie the bug net in up out of the way. So I'll just undo them. Oh yeah, and on the inside of the tent itself, which is just a little bit further back, you've also got a hook here, so you can put your lantern on there, or radio, or whatever you want to. So just undo these. The bug netting's quite fine, but I don't know whether it's fine enough for midges. That'll be interesting to find out for anybody that lives in beautiful Scotland. You can get in touch with me, and I'd love to hear. I presume this is like the same quality as what was on the version 1 of this tent. Interesting to see. Anyway, so the zips come down like so. Nice and easy to zip, no problem. It's marvellous now. I love the look of it, I really do. I keep on about it, but I really do like it. I did say YKK zippers, because I believe they work YKK zippers, but there's no mention of YKK on these here. I don't think they're YKK, because they've got instead of like the metal part that you grab to drag along, you've got like your line that's tied through, you can see. But they're fine, and they are robust. I might be wrong, there may be YKK, but I can't see it printed on there. So yeah, maybe I got that wrong. I'm sure I heard that off a previous video, that somebody had got one and it got YKK zippers. Well, this one hasn't, I don't think. Right. Come on in. Right, I've had to come under, it's started to rain. Right, so all the everything's taped, all the stitching, everything sealed. There's the back of the tent there. I'll step back a bit. You see, right across the whole length of the tent, you've got that mesh that's at the front, the same as the front opening. The corners are done, reinforced, all the corners, and at the top all reinforced, plenty of tape on there, so it should be in for a nice dry night, even though it'll probably be raining out here. Look, this is my view. Beautiful, beautiful woods. Absolutely gorgeous, even in winter. Winter has her own beauty. No words that can convey how beautiful it is. Stunning, stunning countryside. So that's nice that it's passed over. It's nice to be able to do some filming when it's not pouring down with rain. So anyway, the tent's like, I forgot to say, it's about 7 foot long and about 4 foot wide and just under 3.8, 4 foot tall, I believe. So there's plenty of room in here. I'd say it was a one person tent. One person and you say your son or your daughter, you know, somebody smaller, like maybe a dog or whatever. But a 2-person you could do it, but it'd be too much of a squash for most, to be honest with you. And then you need room for your gear and everything else. So 1 person and you got bags of room, plenty of room. So it's yeah, it's lovely. And what a view! How beautiful is that? It's really nice, isn't it? It's like a very fine mist within the woods, and you can hear like the very slight, you know, drizzle touching the tent. I don't think you get that on the camera. You can hear it, plus I can also hear the stream faintly down the bottom there. I thought I might have a bit of an issue with like, because that's like a bit of a valley down there, like on top of a hill really. I thought I might have winds like coming up, you know, and blowing me away up here, but no, it's all right, it's fine. Because they had forecast quite high winds today, but fortunately we haven't had any yet really. Only very slight breeze. The rain's starting again slightly. Yeah, but this is lovely. Yeah, I was saying that myself and Karen, we came on a recce. We had like a bit of a picnic and what have you, having a look around these new woodlands, and with you know, finding new locations in mind for me to be wild camping in. It was only like on our way out that I happened to stumble across this part here, which is at the top of the hill here. So yeah, anyway, on our way out we saw this man coming through, and he got like a young dog and what have you, and it's leaping and bounding around the place. Cute little puppy really. It's leaping about, and full of energy, full of beans as they are. A beautiful thing. And later on he come past us, the man did, and he was shouting the dog's name. He'd managed to lose the dog because the dog was off its lead and was off doing its own thing. He was looking everywhere for it. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it was quite worrying at the time, because this is by no means a small woods at all. You quite easily get lost in here, and really you know, like a pet, a dog, it's like having a child, isn't it really? It's part of the family. You love them just the same. So obviously he was distressed and he was shouting the dog's name. I can't remember what the dog's name was, and shouting the place. And he was heading his way back into the woods here, as you would be, because we were close to like the entrance, and we'd got to go. We were like, oh, shall we? You know, what we can't like. So normally we'd got extra time on our hands, like spare time on our hands. We'd have helped the fellow out, you know what I mean? We'd have carried on and help him look, but unfortunately we'd got to go. We were being picked up at a designated spot. So anyway, we headed our way back, and luckily there were people at the gates right at the entrance to the woodlands, and they got the dog, and they'd taken the phone number off the gentleman, that the owner of the puppy. So we were thinking, oh goodness, we can't leave here, you know what I mean? We can't leave here thinking that a man's lost his dog out here, you know, his puppy. It's been awful. It's something like you'd never forget, which is, you know, it's always play on your mind sort of thing. You'd always wonder, like, did he ever find that puppy? Oh, I hope he did. But you know, it's nothing worse than not knowing the outcome to like a really unpleasant situation like that. But yeah, it was all success. It was a good, you know, happy ending, and we waited with the dog. We had, you know, luckily the car hadn't arrived to pick us up, so we'd got like a couple of minutes to stand with the people that had found the dog, and you know, wait for the gentleman to come back and collect his dog. And the dog was pining and all that, you know, crying and everything. Oh, it was so cute. It was lovely. But yeah, it was like, you know, a happy ending. Nice little story there. But you know, whether he should have left his dog on a lead, or, you know, one of those extendable leads, well, I don't know. But you know, the main thing is it's got a happy ending to it. Right, what I'm going to do now is my usual thing. I'm going to get my head down for half an hour or an hour or so, or maybe a little bit more, and I'll see you in a bit. had a good hour's sleep. I'm gonna go down there and see if I can get down by the stream. Should we have a look? It's pretty treacherous, to be honest. Let's make our way down if we can. It's a lot steeper than it looks on camera, I can assure you. Whoop. Nearly went. Wow, it's steep. I think getting up here, back up here, is going to be the interesting bit. Let's have a look. Oh, that's beautiful. Try and get right down. Now, isn't that gorgeous? Wow. Look at that. You can almost feel the energy from the water as it makes its way through the woods. Wow. It gets more and more beautiful as I travel along it. Isn't that lovely? Try and get a bit closer. Magnificent. Isn't Mother Nature wonderful? Right, I'll try and make my way back up somehow. Yeah, pretty treacherous. Try and step down. Holly. Oh, holly down the back of my neck. Oh. Like razor blades. And I'll show you where it just meanders off down the woods now. Wonderful. Right, now begins the real challenge. Get back up here. Oh dear. Why do you do these things to yourself, Michael? You see tent at the top there. But I've got to admit, I'm getting quite hungry now. What have I got? What have we got for dinner? We've got triple chilli beef burgers and some homemade relish with side salad and cheesy cobs I should say. I'm really looking forward to those. Do get so hungry out here. It really builds your appetite, doesn't it? I could just sitting here, I could just imagine myself drifting off up through the boughs and through the treetops, looking down amongst the wonderful woodlands. You know, you got to appreciate the calmness in these places. There's like a real purity here. We're far away from the poisons and the sicknesses of society, and find peace out here. I'd been feeling pretty rough, so I'd had an ear infection and a chest infection, and unfortunately I didn't get to see my son as much as I would have liked, because he'd come down from Liverpool, and you know, for Christmas, away from university, my Tom, and I know he's working really hard, been working and studying really hard, and partying really hard as well, Tom. Yeah, but I know he's a good lad and everything. I've been looking forward to seeing him and spending a lot of time with him, but unfortunately, you know, I didn't spend as much time as I'd wanted to. But there's an understanding, like if you've got like a bad chest or whatever, flu, you don't want to be passing it on, do you really? I mean, he suffers enough, don't you, Tom? He suffers enough with the flu and stuff like that as it is. He's much like me. If there's anybody sneezes within, you know, 100 miles of you, you're going to catch it, sort of thing. So yeah, I did get to manage to see him like the back end of the holiday, and I sort of saw him off on the train, which is nice. It's nice. It makes you realise just how quick your children grow up. To be honest with you, he's more of an adult than I am. Oh dear, he's certainly got his head screwed on. That's Tom, wonderful son. But yeah, when he got on the train, like, you get those heart flutters that a parent does, you know, the one that thinks it's the one in herself that's saying like, don't go, I want to wrap you in cotton wool, sort of thing, I love you so much. And then the other half's like, you know, go on son, go and do it, you know, we're super proud of you. But yeah, it was a mixture of emotions, seeing him get on the train and go up to Liverpool from here, from the Black Country. Yeah, one half saying, no, don't go, and the other half saying, I'm so proud of you, son. Which I am. I'm so very proud of him. You get proud of your kids. I want to get him out on a wild camp, to be honest, on one of these wild camps with me, as well as Karen. Tom's so busy studying at the moment, you know. I appreciate that, you know, he hasn't got, you know, well, it's harder to find time to come wild camping, but he has said in the past he will come, and I know Karen's up for another camp, so we look forward to that one. I know I'm chuntering on, but my mind does wander loads when I'm out here. You find so many answers out here that you know, you can think of things from different angles where you couldn't do, like back in the rat race. You know, it's easier to think, yeah, your mind's clearer and everything else. Everything slows down to to a more natural pace. The light's starting to go already. I've already mentioned dinner. I'm going to get it on soon, otherwise I'll be filming in the dark, and that's not the best, really, filming in the dark while I'm cooking. Yeah, I'll have something to eat early on, and then I've got other things to snack on in my bag, in my pack, for this evening. Right, let's get cooking. Smells wonderful. Oh, you smell the chilli. Smells quite strong. Certainly builds an appetite out here. Right, I'll carry on cooking these, and I'll get back to you in a bit when they're done. Well, burgers are broken up a little bit, but that doesn't matter. Still taste the same. Can't wait, I'm absolutely starving. Is that bit cooked there? Let's try that. Burgers are nearly done. Looking good. And smelling absolutely delicious, to be honest with you. You can smell the chilli in them. I don't think they're going to be that hot. I've tried a little bit of them, and it's just right. It's not blow your head off hot. It's not like nuclear noodles. I'm going to stick the bacon in now and get that done, and then put the side salad and relish, and then I'm ready to scoff them down. Some nice thick cut bacon. Whack it in. No need to be fussy. One beef burger. They're too big to put in the plate itself, the two of them. Put a piece of bacon on with it. It's slightly cremated, but I always tend to overcook things slightly in the woods just to be safe. And that. Now to add the special relish, which is lovely. It doesn't look great, but believe you me, it's very tasty. That's if it'll come out. I need a bit of this. In my sample pot. It hasn't been used, I promise. So there's plenty of relish. It's quite strong. Some salad. What I'll do is I'll put it round the sides and help myself to that as I chomp away. Some lettuce, onion, tomato, a bit of black pepper, a bit of salt, and there's the cheesy top on the bun, cheesy bun. I'll have the other bun in a minute. Beautiful double chilli burger with bacon on the top, relish, homemade relish, and side salad on a cheesy cob. Let's try it. I can't wait. It smelt amazing. I did try a piece of the burger and it wasn't too hot. Let's have a look. Wow, the size of that. It's huge. Fantastic. Here's to everybody. Mmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is outstanding. I recommend you try those double chili burgers, or is it triple? I'm not sure now. Well, chili burgers, They're beautiful. Wow. Not too spicy, just right, absolutely perfect. Slight bit of heat, spot on. Oh, believe you me, if you were here now, you'd rip my arm off the other one, wouldn't you? You'd be most welcome to it. You'd be most welcome to the other burger if you were here. They're that nice. I wouldn't want to give it away, but yeah, of course you'd be welcome. When I see you next, it'll be I'll be getting into bed, and as all this healthy eating, all this good eating, I should say, and walking and exercise and being in the woods and relaxing and having a fantastic time with you guys. I hope you're enjoying watching. I really appreciate it. It's just tired me out, so I'm going to get a good night's sleep tonight, all being well. And what I think I'll probably do is the canopy behind me, I think I'm going to lower that down just in case there is any heavy rain or whatever. I'm sure it'll be fine like that, but I'm not going to take any risks because they have forecast a bit of rain, even though I haven't seen much of it. And I don't want to be getting up through the night and have to get out and mess about with that, do I really? So I'll probably just lower it down on an angle sloping down that way rather than that way. Oh, right, I'll get on with this, and I'll see you later on then. All tucked in, lovely and warm. Wind's picked up a little bit, but it's fine. Been listening to my little radio that I carry with me. Listen to some chat radio. No music, don't bother with music. Not while I'm wild camping. So I've been listening to chat shows and that, talk radio and what have you. And yeah, they're on about something that affects me, or I believe affects me. It's something that they call, well, I think it's linked, or it could be the same thing, the Taos hum. It's something that I've heard for quite a few years now. I think I'm mad. But it's something that I've heard for quite a while, and no matter where I am, I could be out here in the middle of the woods, I can still hear it. So yeah, it's most strange. It's like yeah, it's like a hum, a very, very deep bassy hum. And I noticed that it's getting louder and louder just recently. It's almost like intermittent sort of sound. I don't know whether you've heard it yourself. It's like I don't know, almost like a machining, like a boo, 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 but there's no like you know, no rhythm to it or whatsoever. It's not like a musical thing. It's just like almost like the hum of machinery. I thought it might have been linked to the fracking that they've stopped, or supposedly it stopped, and it did seem to die off when they stopped doing that or reduced doing that. But I've noticed it just recently, it's back, and it's deeper and louder than ever. I know some people can't hear this. It might be due to the hearing, whatever, but my hearing's relatively poor anyway. But because I've got tinnitus from operating machinery all my life, really. So I've got permanent tinnitus, but this isn't tinnitus, because tinnitus is like high pitched. I can almost like feel it. It's that low, the bass notes, like very bass. It's hard to explain, but there's plenty of people that can hear it, and it's supposed to be like a global thing. I think it's Mexico where they call it the Taos hum, or it's known as like the global hum. But I'm just wondering what on earth it is that's causing it, because just recently, like, I wake up in the morning, you know, and I can wake up with a headache, and I could hear that hum. I'm wondering if it's, you know, it's like hearing it that much is giving me headaches. You never know what they get up to, do you, really? You know, whether it could be underground work that's going on that we're not told about, or it could be like a noise that's built up worldwide, you know, like just through the human population alone and industry and that worldwide. It could be like, I don't know, like almost like a build-up of sound, of unnatural sound, and that's what it is. But it's most strange. I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not I know I'm not going mad, well, any more mad than I already am. But I just thought I'd mention it. It's just, yeah, it can be quite annoying. It can keep me awake at night, that hum. Very strange. I can't hear it tonight in the woods, but there's many times that I've camped through the years, and I've heard it out here. Well, not out in these particular woods, because this is my first time in these woods, but yeah, I've heard it before, right out in the middle of the woods. So it's not like an urban thing, you know, or industry, or, you know, like a factory unit that's close by, because there's nothing of that anywhere near here, or, you know, or even where I live, to be honest. It's very strange. Just wondered if any of you guys know anything about it. You know, it's one of those things that very few people talk about, because for obvious reasons. I think you're going doolally. But I thought I'd mention it. Why not? I really don't care. You know, I'll speak what's on my mind, especially when I'm out in the woods. I really don't mind, and I'm sure I'm sure most of you don't mind me going on about these things. Yeah, so any information or you know, would be greatly appreciated. All I know is it's not my tinnitus, and I've heard it for a good few years now, and it's intermittent and it's very deep notes, very, very deep, and many people can't hear it, and there's plenty that can. So right, I'm going to say good night now, and as I always say, all being well, I'll see you in the morning. Unless the boogeyman gets me. Right, I might listen to chat radio or talk radio for a little bit longer, but yeah, and then shut my eyes. Pretty tired now. So okay, what else have I got to say before I turn in properly? I've left the mesh open at the front here, so there's loads of ventilation. There's no point having the bug net down really this time of year. There's nothing that's really going to bite me as such. It's not like it's the middle of winter, so I'm not getting any mosquito bites or anything like that. Anyway, I'll see you in the morning. Night. Good morning. Well, that was a good night's sleep. It's about 7:30 now, 7:30 in the morning, and you can hear the bird song, dawn chorus. Yeah, anyway, we had one downpour last night that didn't last too long, but there's been no leaks at all. There's no condensation in here. I've had the bug netting zipped up out the way all night, so, and the back's open here, so the ventilation is it's been fine. Yeah, really good night's sleep. I mentioned this before, by the way. I got my Dura 2 sleeping bag, and it's like a mummy type sleeping bag, you know, where it zips up the middle, and you've got like the foot compartment down the bottom. I found out that I could get like a far better night's sleep if I turn the sleeping bag itself round, turn it upside down, and what I do is I open it up and I put my feet in the bottom, the foot box at the bottom of the Dura 2, and I leave it open. So I've got it upside down basically, so it's like a quilt, like 3/4 of me. It's like a quilt from the top down to my feet. It's an open quilt, and at the bottom my feet go in the foot box, and that way it's far better. And I find it's better like that in the hammock as well, because it is rather, well, it isn't, but mummy sleeping bags can be quite restrictive in your movement and that, you know, if you want to get in and out of them, they can be quite awkward. When using this upside down and using it like a quilt, it's far better, and I can tuck it under me when I get comfy, or if I'm in the hammock and that, and I don't feel any cold at all. So yeah, it suits me fine anyway, so I thought I'd just share that. If you've got a Dura 2 or a sleeping bag that's very similar, it's worth a try. Just turn it upside down and use it as a quilt basically, and get your feet nice and warm in the foot box. So I'm going to lie here for another half an hour or so and contemplate getting up and doing myself a nice hot cup of tea. So it's about 5 degrees this morning, so it's not too cold at all. Lovely morning. Cheers, here's to you all the very best to you, your loved ones, and most importantly of all, good health. Cheers. Right, I'm going to finish this off. It's cooled down a touch, and pack everything away and have a clear around and have a last walk around the woods before we have to say goodbye, fortunately. So next time you see me, all this will be gone, we packed away nice and tidy, and you'd never know that we'd been here. Right, we're all packed away. Didn't take long at all. That's where we were, that bit of flattened ground. Leave no trace. We all know how important that is. And we're going to make our way out the woodlands now. And I'm in no rush at all today, so a nice steady stroll out of here, which is nice for a change. Great camp, and enjoyed every second of it, and it's been great having you join me. You all really appreciated the Backwoods Bungalow by ONETIGRIS version 2. Spot on, I can't fault it, and I do apologise, I was wrong about the YKK zippers. They are YKK. It's just printed on down the side, and it's very small, so I did have a thorough check this morning to make sure I was correct on that. But yeah, smashing tent, I just cannot fault it in any way at all. Build quality, everything. So it's a one-person tent. That was the Coyote Brown. 3-season tent if you have quite severe winters with snow and what have you. Possible 4-season tent if you have mild winters or happen to have a mild winter. I don't see why not. So that's it for another wild camp, and it's time to say goodbye to you all, and until next time, it's Black Country Woodsman over and out. See ya.